Welcome. My name is Brian Friedlander. I'm an assistive technology consultant in New Jersey, and I just retired from teaching at St. Elizabeth University, where I oversaw the special ed programs and taught courses in assistive tech. So today I want to kind of share with you about a mind mapping program called Ayoa. The company is based in Wales, and they're really kind of focused in on, I would say, high school, but predominantly the college marketplace. It's a pretty full-featured application. That's what I'm using right now. So it can be used for brainstorming, note-taking, writing, and I'll talk about that. And I'm sure you work with the same group of students I do. I call it blank screen paralysis. Whether they have to write something or they have to develop something. They open up their word processor, their Google Doc, and then they just kind of like deer in the headlight. And so I'll show you how some of the unique features of AO for those kinds of things. This is also a collaboration tool. So if you're working in small teams, it works pretty much like Google Docs. You can give people permission to enter the workspace, and they can work on the document together. It also has some tremendous task management features as well. So if you're working with kids who have executive function disorder, this can be really helpful. It uses both timelines and also a Kanban approach to monitoring. And again, depending upon how much information you put in, you can set reminders. You can also link it to Google Calendar, and this can also be used as a presentation tool as well. So what are some of the unique features? So like I said, it can really help with blank screen paralysis or syndrome, and because it utilizes AI, so that you can basically um, you know give it, type a topic in, and then it will generate the skeleton mind map for you. And then you can sort of build out from there. And I work with a lot of kids that have difficulty with ideation, coming up with ideas. And so this can be a great way maybe to jumpstart that. It has Google Calendar and also Outlook calendar integration with tasks, which is nice. Team collaboration, task management, and also, again, it also has an idea bank, so that as students are generating ideas or have things come up, they can actually type the idea in here. So if I wanted to type in, let's say, note-taking workflow, it enters it in here, and then what I can do is reuse this in a mind map that I might be developing in the future. So this is kind of a good place to just kind of, put your ideas that you can utilize at another time. So I'm going to do some demos because that's what the program's a lot of fun. So using AI for creating a mind map. So this is when I click up over here. I have it later in the presentation, and I'll give everyone a link in a little bit so you have access to this. But this is kind of like your dashboard. So if I go home, this is for the most part a web-based application, but it's available from, basically you can run on a Mac, Windows, Chromebook, and then there are apps for both iOS and Android, and everything syncs across all the platforms, which is really nice. So if I want to create, and you can create mind maps, whiteboards, and task boards. We'll create a mind map, and you can see that you can utilize AI in two different ways, which I'll show you. One is to generate ideas. So would anyone like me to use AI to create a mind map on a particular topic that might interest you, just to check this out? Ariane or Rachel, you have any? Ariane, just turn it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So what if you wanted to just write about, you were doing a research paper on Italy?
Okay. Any particular aspect of Italy or
The food
Italian?
of Italy,
Okay.
since it's lunchtime.
All right. Italian. How about let's do food of it. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Food of Italy. And then you could have ideas or you could explain. Let's start with ideas. And then just over here, you can see that, you know, eh, this program is based in Wales, so it's the UK. So they talk about neurodiversity, and so these are some settings that you can click off. And then you can also have images and then notes. So notes would be text that would be associated with the idea. So now all I need to do is hit create, generate, and let's see what it does. So again, if you have students that have to do a paper like this, you can see where this would automatically, generate some ideas. And then if I if I go over here, you can see that these are the notes. So it gives you additional information about, and then you can see they also added some images. So if I make this a little bigger, you can see I can zoom in. So, at this point, you can add notes. Students can also see it in an outline view, and then they can also, just like if you ever use inspiration, they can move things around, and then all of this can be just all this can be exported, as a PDF, a text document, HTML, or a doc or a mind map. So you have the option of how you want to export this. So it gives you lots of ways that you can reuse this or begin to write about it. So you can see how easy that is to utilize and how quick that is. Any questions or thoughts or how you might use something like this with?
Two questions.
Yes.
Um, one, could you export? I didn't see as a Google Doc. Looked
So
like a Word document.
yeah, so you can see document. So you could do it as a text or doc.
Looks like a Word, like, so if I have kids on Chromebooks, what's my
Yeah,
best way to get it to them?
you could export it as that. It goes in just a text file, and then it would
Text
open
file.
in Google
Okay.
Doc. Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
my next question is, do they have any kind of US presence? Because we don't do business with companies that don't have like an American W-9 form.
That's a good question. That's what actually, you may have missed it, but I've been working with the company. We're trying to get a US based company to resell this. So that's in process. Yeah. I was saying is that there's been tremendous um, development in assistive technology, but all the development is happening in the UK, Israel, South Korea. There's really nothing happening in the United States. So a lot of these companies, I've been working with some of these companies just to connect them with other resellers to try to get some presence here in the US. But that's a good question. So, but we are working on it, and hopefully, we'll have someone shortly on board that you'll be able to purchase it from. But they do, just so you know, I know they do meet all the privacy compliance. They have all that certification in the UK, so it's not an issue. I know sometimes business administrators and superintendents don't want to use certain products where maybe the servers in China, or things of that sort. So yeah, they do have all that. So this is so you saw how quickly you could do that. And I'm going to go back here for a second and go back to where's that text Spotlight. Just going to get some text. So one of the nice things too is you can also create a mind map from text, which might be a good strategy. Sometimes students, can utilize these as study guides, as in lieu of maybe a traditional text-based studying guide. So you could add attachments. So you can see up here some of the options. You can upload documents. You can also link to websites. You also, again, maybe even for note taking, again, depending upon the student and the learning preference, you can they can record anything and attach it to an idea. So if I click on here, click record. So some students may want to link audio to a particular idea and use that as part of their note taking strategy. Again, it could be teachers maybe pushing out a template that they can use when they're taking notes, and then they can attach the audio, and you can see.
So some students may want to link audio to a particular idea and use that as part of their note-taking strategy. Again, it could be teachers maybe are pushing out a template that they can use when they're taking notes, and then they can attach the audio.
And then again, for students that are using this, to write a research paper, they can enter the ISBN, or they can enter information, the citation manually, and you can see it supports 5 different, styles of referencing. So, and this would be exported as part of that, text-based document as well. So you have you can add all that, add audio, add citations, and let me just go here. Okay, so I just going to copy. This is just text from Number the Stars, which I know a lot of students read. I guess is that like 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade. But if you haven't, I just want to just quickly, if you haven't seen this AI app, it's worth. Okay. It's called Diffit. Have you played around with this one? This is great for, just getting text at whatever level you need. So I just generated, I said, give me a summary of the chapter 4, and I got the text here. So now if I go here and I go home and I create a new mind map from a text summary. So I'm just going to paste that in here, and I'll add some notes, and off it goes. So you can see, and then if I come over here, it adds some notes to this as well. And then you could also, I don't know, let's see if you could always add images. And you also have AI. So let's see if I do paper doll, create, and then you also have different styles. Let's do crayon. Let's see what happens, and then it will hopefully generate a paper doll that we can use in the for the graphics. So students can do this as well, but teachers may want to use this as a study guide. So it's good. So now you have a paper doll as a graphic in there. So you can certainly do that using the AI functionality that's built in, which is really nice. Questions? Do you think students could benefit from something like that?
I have a question. I saw that you could export it into a PowerPoint. How would that work? Like, how would it look like going from the mind map to just a PowerPoint?
Let's try it. Let's see. Do that. Yeah, so there's the overview, and then yeah, that's what it did. You have to play around with it, but that was the export.
Is there a feature where you can like speak into it? Does it like, will it take read and write for Google or Snap and Read as an overlay so you could speak into it, or does it have it built in?
And what would you want to do with the information afterwards?
Um,
Or what do you imagine? What are you
like
imagining?
even where you typed in food of Italy, like
Right.
could you speak into instead of typing it, could you speak that?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, you're talking about using like dictation, speech recognition. So I'm on a Windows computer, but you can I'm gonna do Windows and K and oh wait, I didn't want that Windows. It's Windows and H. Ah, my bad. So I'm just using the speech recognition in Windows, but you could do this. So hopefully, if I put over here, food of Italy. Yeah. So you could use that, yeah, and so that you could do, and you can do that on Mac as well, and you should be able to do that on Chromebook as well. They are looking to add text to speech within the application itself. It's currently not there, but they are that's a feature that's coming down the pike as well. So that should be good. And then I'm just gonna go here. And also task management. So it's got a pretty nice task management feature. So you can use it for Kanban. You can also see it in what they call a canvas mode, which I'll show you, and it also integrates with Google Calendar, which is nice. So let me go back here. So this is a Kanban technique. So you can see you have these columns. So if you wanted to do something to do, all I need to do is double click and I can say, work on building Lego model. So it put it in here. So the whole idea of this would be if I click on it, you can see this panel opens here, and this is where I can chart my progress. I can also put a start date, and I can put a let's say a due date. And then the other thing too is I can also turn reminders on, and then this will shoot me an email reminding me when the task is done. So what's nice is that once if the student actually, you can see again, if the student actually finished this, I can actually move it into completed. And so this is just another way for students to handle the task management. And students can see this in different ways. So some students might do well looking at this, it's almost like bubbles. So if I wanted to, I can just double click, call doctor, and then I could move that into into the space. So again, this could be it's very visual. And if you're working, let's say students in high school and task management, this could be a good tool to use on the on the smart board. Students can come up and actually move things into the various groups, which is really nice. So it's like I said, it's got a lot of different features. So you have Canvas, you also have again, you also can have it as a like a Gantt chart or a timeline as well. Students can see this very very visual, which is really nice. And we also have the integrations, so you can integrate this with Outlook or Google Calendar. So when you click on Google Calendar, what would happen is that that was, say, I could enable the synchronization with Google Calendar with that specific the specific workflow, and then anything I put into that mind map workflow space would go into my Google Calendar, which is really nice. So there is some really nice integration with this. And then the other thing too is that if students are using this day in and day out, this if they copy this email, they can actually send notifications or ideas to Ayoa that get stored, so students can use that email address and in the body put an idea or something to remind them about something, and then it will show up in the Ayoa space that they can use to either track tasks or help them to remember information. So there's a lot to this tool that can help not only with like brainstorming, writing papers, but also task management as well, and also collaboration, which is nice. So I'm going to go back here. Yeah. So if I wanted to share this, I could make this public, and I'm not going to do that. And copy forward link. So I'm going to put this in the chat. So hopefully you should be able to access. So there is, so that there's, let me just go over the cost. So for individual user, it's about $13 per month when billed annually. And then there's also, like in the UK, colleges, universities have enterprise licensing based on the number of seats, and then the universities or colleges can give the license to the student to utilize the application. There is a free version, so if you just go to ayoa.com, let's see, you can get a free version. It doesn't have the AI, but it allows you to do some of the basic mind mapping application, on your particular device. So there's always a free version that you can use if you want to kind of play around with it, but you don't get the AI, anything like that. And just to refresh your mind map, Mac, Windows, Chrome, and Chrome, and then iOS and iPad apps as well. So it's pretty full featured and available on just about any any platform. And again, it has total collaboration. So if you're doing any kind of teamwork, it's really nice. And it also has a whiteboarding feature. So this allows students, you can actually you can use sticky notes, or say you're brainstorming some ideas. It also has AI, so I could brainstorm or summarize pros and cons. So pros and cons, let's say starting high school later in the day. Let's see. So again, this could be a collaborative space. So you can see how, again, you can generate some ideas. Students can interact with these ideas and maybe use it to write a paper. You can also add graphics. You can always add an image, so you can use it to generate. So school generate. So you can use graphics, you can type text, documents, you get attachments, draw on this, and also you can also create sections. So if you sort of different ideas that you can drag into this as well. So again, it's probably it's a really unique application in that the way it utilizes AI and provides not only brainstorming and writing tool, but also one that can be used for collaboration. And again, it's unique because of the inclusion of the AI feature that you don't find in a lot of these kinds of applications. They were one of the first to add it, so makes it a pretty powerful application. Questions? Or can you see how you might use it? Like I said, there's a free version. You can sort of kick the tires, see how it works, and then if you have any questions, you can let me know. Glad to answer any questions that you do have.
Looks interesting. I'm gonna play around with the free version.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, it's very powerful. But you can use the features that are important to you or the students that you're working with. Like I said, I really like the AI functionality, both the summarization and the ability to create mind maps, based on the AI is pretty powerful. Pretty powerful.
It would be nice if they would make it like one of those Google apps.
In terms of
Like sell it to Google, so it's in the Google space. That'd be lovely.
Yeah, I imagine they do have like I'm sure there's some way to do. I haven't played around with it, like a Chrome sign in, but it's basically it's a web-based app, so that kind of gives it the it's available just about anywhere. Like I said, even if you have iPad users or even iPhone users, they can access this from anywhere. It synchronizes really well, which is nice. Any other? Rachel, did you have any questions? Or what I know you're at the college level. Could you see college students using this?
Actually, a lot of them are already using similar, they don't tell me exactly what they're using,
Okay.
but some of them are already using software that does mind mapping, or they do it on their own in paper and pencil.
Okay. Are they using inspiration, do you think?
I'm not sure. The moment I mentioned mind mapping, they're like, oh yeah, and they like try to move on the conversation. But
Right.
I have mentioned that is out there, and so I know that they are using something equivalent to Iowa.
Okay. Yeah, there's Xmind, there's Mind Manager, there's Mind View. I mean, there's a lot of different tools, but they've been around for a while. They actually had another application called iMindMap, which was on the iPad, and then they moved to web-based application so that they can be on almost every platform, which is really nice. All right. Is there any other questions? That's how to reach me if you need to or have any questions. Let me know. Any other questions? Or are there any other topics you would like as part of the tech spotlight that
I vote for more AI stuff next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's like when we first got iPads and everybody like the quiet whatever listserv like was blowing up with how to scan and how to read, and it was like overwhelming. I feel like this AI is the next big thing, and everybody is we're not sure how to use it and leverage it, and like theoretically how I would love to leverage it for the students is different than how it's really going to play out in the classroom.
Right.
So
I mean, I don't know what your Naomi and I were talking about. I think we talked about it before. Is like how do we overcome some of the policies with regard to audio recording? Because a lot of the AI is dealing with audio. I mean, almost, some of the more interesting ones are, it's audio transcription, audio, summarization. And I know you're shaking your head. And so, I keep coming up with all these great transcription services, but audio is the input, and it's,
That is like the hard stop no in K through 12. Post-secondary, you can do that, but
right,
K through
right.
12, we are not recording anything. So, right.
I'm really surprised that not only that parents in certain districts have not taken legal action, but that there hasn't been something at a national level, you know, taken up to the, maybe even the Supreme Court for that kind of, those kinds of rulings. I mean, I'm a little surprised, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if in the near future that, doesn't happen, where you get a parent who, litigates a case where they wanted their student who, had a disability to use audio and the school refused. So I think it's just a matter of time. I mean, especially when you see these. I'm actually meeting with someone on Friday. They have something called a couple of these. Let's see. I'm meeting with the CEO of this company called Audio Pen. Again, it's an AI with a microphone, and then you go, or things like, I mean, these are just like, turbo scribe. All I do is drop in an audio file, and boom, there it is. So it's pretty amazing. And I just did. Some of you might be familiar with Speechify, and this runs on multiple platforms too. This one's interesting because they just added AI. So I'm just going to open up. It's just a text.
Imagine what it would be like for students in your classroom with dyslexia who struggle with reading, who could reach for ScanMarker Pro and immediately be able to access the text.
So this uses very high-end text to speech, and you can open up almost anything. And students can also open up Google Documents right within their dashboard. But what's nice is they added this AI feature, and so not only will it read, but it just is. I mean, it's a short document, but you can see that it made a summary, and then I have the text to speech as well, which is.
I have students using that, like, personally.
Yeah.
Their parents pay for it or whatever, but we have read and write for Google,
Right.
and
Right.
we're not gonna pay for two serve, kind of
Right.
just the same thing.
Right. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I know there's a whole bunch of new features, like co-writers coming to read and write in July 1st, and some of the snap and read stuff will find its way. But so far, there's other. I guess there isn't. There is a simplification, but I don't know that it's summarization yet. That hasn't been added yet.
They have Rewordify. They added a Rewordify. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, there's a lot of stuff happening, but it's all in that audio space. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure. I'm sure something will. Now, Rachel, at the community college level, are students using a lot of audio or Glean or different programs like that?
So our school uses Glean.
Okay.
But most of the time students sometimes we use the voice recording built into their phone or their laptop, but we do try to push Glean just because it offers so many more features.
It does.
And it's easier for time management. If you're struggling with time management, you're not going to sit through a 75-minute long audio recording. So we try to push students to use that more than.
I don't know if you can see. So this is the iFlyTech Smart Recorder, and all you do, it's an audio recorder. You hit the record button, and it transcribes directly on the device without connection to the internet. So. Student doesn't have to worry where they have Wi-Fi or their phone's discharged. they can use this, which is really
What's that called?
it's called the iFlyTech Smart Recorder.
Okay. Do you
Yeah,
find it accurate? I actually have, I work with somebody who has a sister with TBI
right.
and has very poor short-term memory and actually needs things transcribed so that she can read it back and like know what they said.
It's good. It's really good. I mean, it's not 100%. It's probably 95, 96. But so what happens is after you're done, you plug this into your Mac, PC, or Chromebook, and there's a text document sitting on this and the audio file. So you if you want to listen to it again, you could. If not, you could pull the text file off and use it. But it's very accurate. It's got an 8-core processor on this thing. These are more powerful than what NASA, used to send man to the moon, back in 1969. I mean, the processor in here is just incredible. Yeah. So that's what's happening. With technology, it's all going to audio, but we'll see. Any other questions? There's so much new technology coming out. It's unbelievable. Just unbelievable. It's going to be a busy summer. Busy summer. Oh, okay. Thanks, Naomi. I see you got that on there. That's great. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, well, Naomi's here, so hopefully we'll have next in the fall we'll have some more tech webinars on AI since everyone is hungry for it, and some schools are are into it in different ways, and so it's going to take some time until it infiltrates. But I have to tell you, just in like my own workflow, it's made such a difference. Just little things like using the AI in Adobe Acrobat has been incredible. I mean, I get, I know you process too. I get 25-page IEP documents that I have to go through, and I could just tell Adobe Acrobat, create a summary, or I can say, write a short summary of the student's strengths and weaknesses, and it goes in and just pulls from just that, which is nice. And Adobe assures me they're only using the cloud for processing and they're not storing any of the information. So that makes me feel it's done locally on my machine. But that's what's happening too. Microsoft and a lot of the other companies are coming out with computers that are doing more of the AI processing on the actual device itself and not relying totally in the cloud. So that's going to happen too. And that's what's going to happen eventually is that school districts may create their own chatbots based on their own, knowledge or PDF files, or so they'll wind up creating their own, you know, LLMs based on the data that's in the district, which would be interesting as well. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of exciting stuff happening. That's for sure. And boy, has AT changed since I started in it, right? Ariane, you've been in it a while too, right? It's like magic. It's really magic. Yeah. It's hard to.
It went from something that was so cumbersome to something that's so like light now. It's like just easy to integrate, and it's there, and it's
I know.
there.
I mean, when you think about, even something like the IntelliTools keyboard or these big keyboards, and like, is I used to say was plug and pray, and and then you go to these web-based, once we moved to these web-based apps, the whole thing just changed. It's unbelievable. The only I was telling Naomi is like, I was at ATIA in January, is like there aren't any U.S. companies that are really investing time, energy, and R&D in creating new stuff. And when you went into the exhibit hall, the bulk of the AT companies were dealing with, vision and blindness, since there's a lot of money in the hardware. But other than Text Help and Don Johnston, and then there was Ayoa was there, and then there was MindView. There wasn't a lot of companies that were dealing more with like LD issues other than Text Help. It was pretty much Text Help, where in the past you'd go and there'd be, lots of companies doing all kinds of interesting things with LD. But like I said, most of that is taking place in the UK, in the UK marketplace. But what are you going to do? All right. So any closing thoughts before we finish up?
I'm actually gonna hop off. I have a CSE meeting, believe it or not, but
All right.
thank you very much for this. I look forward to
Great.
this
Thanks.
series continuing in the fall.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed my lunches with Naomi and everybody.
Great.
So thank you for doing
Have-
this and keep it going
All right.
because it's a great opportunity to learn about things. So
Yeah,
thank you.
thanks for always stopping in, and have a great summer. See you in the fall. And
Thanks, you too.
and
Take
Rachel,
care.
thanks. It was nice meeting you, and thanks for. Now, Rachel, do you work with Jamie?
Yes, yes, I
You
do.
do? Okay. Send her my regards. I haven't seen her
I
in a
will.
while. Yeah,
I'll
that's
let
good.
her know.
How big? How large